Hello everyone. So this is experiment number 1, which is the study of the characteristics of a synchro transmitter receiver system. So you must have studied in your third year class about synchro transmitter system. So this is quite easy experiment. So here we have synchro transmitter, as you can see. So in this synchro transmitter, as you can see in the figure, we have a rotor winding, single phase rotor winding, and we have 3 single phase stator windings. Okay, so stator is having 3 single phase windings and rotor is having 1 single phase winding. Okay, so now we have to supply some EMF, some voltage to the rotor winding. So as you can see in the figure, 110 volts is supplied at 50 hertz. So suppose that we are giving some voltage at the rotor, which is given by this equation. Em, magnitude of the sine wave, sine omega t. Okay, so this much voltage is applied at the rotor. So if suppose rotor is at 0 degrees, rotor is aligned at 0 degrees. So I am correcting this notation. This is S1, this is S2, and this is S3. So if you are if the rotor is aligned at 0 degree with S1, so how much EMF will be induced in S1 winding? So this will be the EMF induced in S1 winding. So let us say it is E1N. So because rotor is at 0 degrees with S1, so the EMF induced E1N will be simply like a transformer. Okay, so just a constant of proportionality K comes here. Like in transformer we have turn ratio, so similar kind of thing is there. So depending upon the type of coupling we have from rotor to stator, we get a constant K, and the supply we are getting at the stator terminal S1 is K times Em sine omega t, where N is the neutral point. Okay, so there is a neutral point. So this is the neutral point where all of the windings are connected together. So this voltage is with respect to neutral. Now the voltages induced at the S2 winding will be how much? So how much is the rotor aligned with the S2 winding? So if you see the angle by which the rotor is aligned with S2 winding, so this is this angle, which is nothing but 240 degrees. Okay. So E2N will be K Em sine omega t cos of 240, right? Then E3N will be K Em sine omega t cos of 120 degrees. Okay, so this was the case when your theta was 0 degrees. Theta was 0 degrees, right? We were assuming that rotor is aligned with S1 winding. So now let us say what will happen if you change the angle of the rotor. So if you change the angle of the rotor, so let us say angle of the rotor is theta. Okay, so this was theta r, angle of rotor is theta degrees. So the relations will be same, except that a term of theta will also come in the relations. So the relations will be like this. You have already learned about this in your third year class of dynamic system analysis. This will be the relation. I am not writing t with E1N, assuming that you know that it is a function of time, so I am dropping it. So now E2N will be cos of 240 minus theta. Similarly, E3n will be k Em sin omega t cos of 120 minus theta. So if you look at these relations, so you will know that whenever you are changing the rotor angle theta, so EMFs of the windings are changing. So you can see from here, EMF of the winding is dependent upon theta. So there is a cosine relationship between EMF induced and theta. So that means if you change this theta from 0 degree to 360 degree, so the EMFs at the stator windings will change sinusoidally, okay, or you can say co-sinusoidally. So that is expected voltage at the terminals if you change the rotor angle. Okay, so based on this we have one table which we will be seeing in this experiment, and in that table we will change rotor angle and we will record the terminal voltage of the stator, and they should come out to be sinusoidal. And also the relations which I have drawn here was for phase voltage. So if you are drawing line voltage, so those will also be sinusoidal, of course, because the phase voltages are sinusoidal. Okay, so we have a table in the lab manual which we will see shortly on the experimental setup, that if we change the rotor angle from 0 to 360 degree, the terminal voltage of the stator, the line voltages S3 S1 S1 S2 and S2 S3, as you can see in the table, these keep on changing. Okay, and these should change sinusoidally. So our first part of the experiment is this, which we will see shortly on the experimental setup. And the second part of the experiment is related to synchro transmitter receiver system. So this is the synchro transmitter receiver system. So this is synchro transmitter receiver system. Here you can see we have a transmitter. We have just seen this is your transmitter and this is your receiver. Okay, so receiver is just opposite of the transmitter. So in transmitter we give input to the rotor supply, and correspondingly we get output in terms of stator terminal voltages, right? And in receiver we give stator voltages, and correspondingly we will get output in rotor winding. So there are two modes of this. One is voltage transmission mode. Two modes of synchro transmitter receiver system. So one is voltage transmission mode and another one is torque transmission mode. So in this experiment we will be seeing the torque transmission mode of synchro transmitter receiver system. Okay, so how it operates, let's see. So if you apply some single phase voltage to the rotor of the transmitter like this, as you have a single phase supply is given to rotor of the transmitter, and the same supply is given to rotor of the receiver. Okay, so here at the receiver, at the transmitter side we are giving AC supply, and also at the receiver side we are giving AC supply. So of course some voltages will be induced in the stator winding here and here, like we just saw in terms of equations, and the similar voltage will be induced on the transmitter receiver side here and here. So if these two angles of the rotor are same, okay, so if the rotor of the transmitter is aligned at 0 degrees and rotor of the receiver, so let's say it is transmitter, so if rotor of the receiver is also aligned at 0 degrees, so these voltage induced are same. So the voltage induced here E1n, E2n and E3n will be same as the voltage is induced E1-n, E2-n, E3-n. Okay, that means E1n will be equal to E1-n. So whatever the voltage is induced at the stator of the transmitter will be same as the voltage induced at the stator of the receiver. because the angles of the rotor are same, so coupling is same, so EMF induced are same. So that means no current will flow in this circuit, so I will be 0 because the voltages are same. If now suppose you change the angle of this rotor, you change this angle, so of course E1 and E2 and E3n will be different from E1 dash and E2 dash and E3 dash, because here the coupling is different now than the coupling at the receiver side. So because the couplings are different because of the change in angle, so the EMF induced at the stator of the transmitter and EMF induced at the stator of the receiver will be different. So some non-zero current will flow in the circuit, right? So what will happen if non-zero current flows? So if this current flows in the stator of the receiver like this, let me change the color of the pen, so this, like this and like this. So if current starts to flow in these windings, so some flux will be there, and this flux will link with the rotor of the receiver, and rotor of the receiver is already having current, right? Because we are giving some AC supply. So because of the current, flux is there and flux will link with rotor, and rotor is having current, so some torque will be produced. Okay, so this torque will try to rotate the rotor such that E1n becomes equal to E1 dash n again. Okay, E1n should become equal to E1 dash n again. So this rotor will rotate up to that extent. So naturally, if theta r was taken to be theta r tx, rotor of transmitter was taken at theta degree, so rotor of receiver will also become equal to theta degree. If these two are equal, then only the EMFs will be same, and then only current stops flowing in the circuit. So this is torque transmission mode. So usually transmitter is far away from the receiver, so if you change the rotor angle, then at the far location of the receiver, rotor angle changes. So if you have 30 degree here, so this rotor at the receiver will move to 30 degrees because of the torque that is happening due to unequal voltages in the two stator windings. So this is the second part. So this is also quite easy to do in terms of practical experiment. So we have this table here. So in this table we will change the transmitter rotor angle. Okay, so we will change the transmitter rotor angle, and correspondingly we will see what are the so here we will change the rotor angle. Suppose we take 30 degree, so we should receive 30 degree at the receiver side. 60 degree, so we should receive 60 degree at the receiver side, and so on up to 360 degrees. So this is part number B, and the second part of this then the third part is that we will change the supply to the rotor, reverse the supply to the rotor. So here what we will do, we will reverse the supply, reverse the polarity of the supply which we are giving to the rotor of the transmitter. So we will reverse this supply. So of course now this rotor will be at 180 degrees from this rotor. Okay, so by reversing the supply of the transmitter, the receiver will be at 180 degrees shifted from the transmitter. So this we will see in third table. That means if you are giving 0 degrees at the transmitter side, so you will get 180 degrees at the receiver side. If you are giving 30 degrees at the transmitter side, you will get 210 degrees at the receiver side, and so on. So now let's move on to the experimental setup, and then we will quickly see how this is done. Hello everyone, so this is the experimental setup for synchro transmitter receiver system. So this is from Scientech, this ST2455 synchro transmitter receiver system. So here you can see we have a rotor which you can rotate manually from 0 to 360 degrees, and this is the supply to the rotor winding. So this is R1A, R2A, which is supply to the rotor winding, and this is the supply, single phase supply, which is inbuilt inside this equipment. So we have V1A, V2A. So this switch is in on position, that means this supply will be connected here. Now this winding is these are the stator windings. This is winding S1A, S2A and S3A. So whatever voltage we need to measure, we can measure with respect to this with the help of this meter by connecting the two terminals here. And then we have reference, we have the receiver side, we have the receiver motor, and then we have the receiver rotor, and this is the supply to the receiver rotor. So we can provide supply to the receiver rotor from here. So the winding is R1B, R2B, and then we have stator of the receiver. So stator of the receiver have these three windings, S1B, S2B and S3B. So first of all, what we will do, we will give single phase supply to the rotor winding, and then we will see what are the terminal voltages. So we will record the line voltages, and they are expected to be sinusoidal. Okay, so this you have to do on graph paper at your home, that when we will record these voltages. So suppose you have to record S1A, S2A voltages. So you will connect this S1A to this point A and S2A to this point B, and at the meter we can record the voltage. So we will record these voltages for various rotor positions, and then we will make complete the table, and then that table can be used to draw the graph. So you have to draw the graph and attach it in the report. So I am connecting the rotor winding with the single phase supply. Okay, rotor is at 0 degrees, and then I will see what are the voltages generated at the stator terminals. So we have connected the stator terminal with the meter, and now we will record this S1A, S2A voltage by changing the rotor position. So we will record these voltages, and then we will record voltage between S1A and S3A, and then we will record voltage between S3A and S2A, and then we will change the rotor position, and we will do this again. Then we will change the rotor position, and we will do this again. That means at each rotor position we have to record S1A, S2A, S2A, S3A, S3A, S1A, and then of course these all three line voltages should come out to be sinusoidal. So as you can see from our table here, we have different rotor positions. At what are the stator terminal voltages at 0 degrees. So you have to write down S3A, S1A here, then S1A, S2A here, and S2A, S3A here. Then we will change the rotor angle, and we will record these observations again, and we will do it up to 330 degrees, because at 360 degree we will come back at this position 0 degrees. Now let's start recording. So first we will take S3A, S1A. Okay, so S3A is connected, and then S1A is connected like this. So now we will take rotor position to be 0 degrees. So what you can see, what is the voltage here? The voltage here is coming out to be 0 degrees. Now let us change the stator terminal. Now let us take voltage at S1A, S2A. So voltages दोबारा बता दें. So what we will do, first we will change the rotor angle 30, 60, 90, and we will record voltage of S3A, S1A. Okay, so we will do it up to 360 degree, and then we will do the same for another terminal voltage. Okay, so now we are recording S3A S1A. So at 0 degree it is around 0 volts. So I am writing down here S3A S1A to be 0 volts. So yeah, this is coming out to be 0 volts, right? And then I am changing the rotor angle. I am changing the rotor angle to 30 degrees, and you can see the voltage is coming out to be 47 volts. So we will record the voltage to be 47 volts, and so on. We will complete this experiment. So at 60 degrees we are getting 78 volts. At 90 degrees we are getting 88 volts. At 120 degrees we are getting 77 volts again. Okay, so we will do this for whole table, and we will share this table with you. Now the same thing we are doing for terminal S1A S2A. So at 0 degrees we are getting around 75 volts. At 30 degrees we are getting 43 volts,
and so on.
and 60 degrees we are getting 0. There should be negative also somewhere. So how you will judge what volt value is negative? So here we are not seeing any polarity, so that will also tell you how to judge what will be the polarity of the voltage. So at 90 degree we are getting 44 volts, and so on. Similarly, we will do the same experiment for the terminal voltage S2A and S3A. So this will complete our first part. Okay, so this is your now we will connect our system as torque transmission mode, like we discussed in the theory. So this is transmitter, this is receiver, and we are connecting the stators of the transmitter and receiver. So I am connecting S1A to S1B. So A means the transmitter, B means receiver here. So now S3A will be connected to S3B, and S2A will be connected to S2B. So now you can see the rotor of the transmitter is connected to supply. Similar thing we will do here. The rotor of the receiver will also be connected to the supply. So this is now connected in torque transmission mode, and what we are expecting here is that whenever we change the rotor angle from here, so we should get some reflection of that rotor angle here. So whenever we change the transmitter rotor angle, we will get a change in receiver rotor angle. Okay, now I am turning on the supply, and let's see what happens. Okay, so I am shifting this rotor of transmitter to 30 degrees. As you can see here, the rotor of the receiver has also shifted to 30 degrees. Similarly, if I change the rotor of the transmitter angle to 60 degrees, so we will get a 60 degree reflection here at the receiver side. So this is torque transmission mode. Whatever angle you change here, the same change will be reflected here. Now there are two parts in torque transmission mode. One is when we are connecting the rotor supply like this. Another one is by reversing the supply to the rotor. So when you reverse the supply to the transmitter rotor, so what we are expecting is that the rotor of receiver should be 180 degree with respect to the rotor of transmitter. Okay, so there will be 180 degree shift between these two rotors. So now let's switch or reverse the supply to the rotor of transmitter. So instead of connecting V1A to R1A, we are connecting V1A to R2A, and we are connecting V2A to R1A. So we have reversed the direction. Now let's see what happens. Okay, so it is working as expected. As you can see, the rotor of the transmitter is at 0 degrees, and correspondingly the rotor of the receiver is at 180 degree. So if I change it to 30 degrees, so the rotor of the transmitter of the receiver should change to 210 degrees. So there is some error, it is not actually 210 here, it is around 220 degrees or between 210 and 220 degrees. But you get the idea, whenever you change the rotor angle you will get 180 degree reflection at the receiver side. So that's all for the second part of the torque transmission mode also. Now we will share you the tables, and what you have to do, you have to draw the proper graphs, whichever graph is required, and you have to answer all the report questions. Thank you.